Hello, thank you for tuning in. Here's a little bit about my background. If you're interested, you can pause and read. See that I come from Denmark, that I'm an ICT counselor, that I'm teaching students that are about to become teachers themselves who are gonna learn pupils in the school, all sorts of stuff. As an ICT counselor at a teacher's university, I'm teaching my students with Flipped Classroom about blended learning as a topic. I'm doing that mainly to free up time for the higher levels of reflection in the classroom, but also to give an example of what blended learning is. Before I flipped my classroom, most often I would simply deliver the needed content to all students regardless of their different level and skills in the particular topic, and hope to have enough time for them to apply the knowledge afterwards with given assignments. So you see, it's almost like the dark school. Now I try using the flipped classroom model by starting to tell them what I expect them to know, and then they are free to skip the video if they already master the content. Also, the students that are completely unfamiliar with the content have a supplemental links to text and video that explain terms and guides the technical issues. And that way I make sure that the learning is personalized. Let me just start this video, which some of my star students created in their teaching practice. It is said that the pupils were quite fond of this physics, and that they have had a lot of trouble getting motivation for this. But all of a sudden, this flipped classroom made the difference. Well, let's put that aside. I'll just keep the video running. Because when I used the flip model, it was really quite interesting to see how my role became like a guide or a counselor. And after a few questions were clarified on a comprehensional level at the start of the lesson, we had time to work on applying both technical issues and in qualified discussions of what aspects the students themselves, as coming teachers, had to consider in making their own high-quality blended learning. As I believe in social constructivism, I also believe that students learn a lot when they're discussing the content. As an ICT counselor, this way of delivering content fits well in the organization and the way I like to teach. And I think most students would like as well. They would like it as well. No matter what, the study culture need to understand the difference between lecturing and learning by video, as well as how to use the class time for what class time is best at, learning with others. And I think that's my personal biggest issue, is using the class time efficiently and to reach the higher level of the taxonomy. Also, other forms of blended learning are not that easy to implement, but I see some potential in especially the flex model that has to be tried out, also with the other educators at our university. And of course, it's very important, I think, that we keep the student agency. It's their learning, it's them who needs to learn, and they need to learn after they leave us, but also that the learning is personalized. This is me from Denmark, over and out.